2024 awards. Where is RPM Awards 2024? I can't wait for the RPM 2024 awards. Will we have RPM 2024 awards? Hurry up with the 2024 awards show. RPM Awards 2024 now or I kill myself and it's your fault. Give me 2024 before I drink bleach. If I don't get RPM 2024 awards, I will crash my Yaris into a wall at 100 miles per hour with my girlfriend in the passenger seat. If the RPM awards don't come out soon, I will do a shit in the Sheffield Cineworld urinal. Princess Diana's car will make it to the other side of the tunnel before you release RPM Awards 2024. Where's the RPM 2024 awards, Hitler? Oi Hitler, when's the 2024 awards out? Give us the 2024 awards, Hitler. 2024 RPM awards or I'm gonna call you the N-word. 2024 awards or you are gay and you love cock.
Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RPM 2024 end of season, unofficial but still really important. Yes, I know I haven't made a video in 3 months because I've been on the run from HMRC, having not paid my tax bill for the past 3 years, and now they want to throw me in jail, and my arsehole wouldn't last 3 seconds in jail. I was considering faking my own death, but then I remembered if I don't make the award show, people on the internet are going to threaten to call me the N-word and say that I'm gay and that I love cock. Prize-giving ceremony. And once again, I have my certificates. Look at this. Yeah? Aren't they nice? Not that there's anything wrong with being gay and loving a bit of cock. I just play for the clams. Anyway, the first category is What the Hell Is Even That of the Year? This is an award for the most
What the hell is even that?
of the year. And the award goes to AIDS Lewis Hamilton, otherwise known as Hamilton from Temu, Hamilton from Wish, Lewis not Hamilton, and we have Hamilton at home, the Hamilton at home. This creature was spotted wandering around the paddock at the Spanish Grand Prix, taking selfies with fans, and there was even a moment during the broadcast where the camera cut to him in the grandstands.
Fernando Alonso, Adrian Newey winning the 2026 World Championship. That'll turn things up a bit.
I tell you what, the lookalike is here. Yes.
Yes.
That's not Lewis Hamilton in the crowd watching someone else in Lewis Hamilton's car.
Is it not? Well, thanks for clearing that up, because for a second I thought Lewis Hamilton lost 30 pounds of lean body mass, ripped out his hair plugs and started smoking crystal meth. It looks nothing like Lewis Hamilton. And you might be thinking, well, what's wrong with that? It's just somebody having a bit of fun. Wrong! This man is a professional lookalike. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have done some investigative journalism and stumbled across this website, lookalikes.co.uk, and it's my new favourite thing ever. Because on lookalikes.co.uk, not only do they have AIDS Lewis Hamilton, they've got seven fake Lewis Hamiltons, all of which look absolutely nothing like Lewis Hamilton. We've got AIDS Lewis Hamilton, Level 1 B-Tech Lewis Hamilton, Lewish Hamilton, Elf Ears Lewis, Audi RS3 on finance Lewis, serving 18 months for GBH Lewis, and follows you into the women's bathroom at Nando's Lewis. I'm sorry, I know they're just regular people. And it's not just Lewis Hamilton people are claiming to look alike. There's more! They've also got Daniel Ricciardo from Temu. They've got Jenson Button from Temu. We've got Michael Schumacher at home, the Michael Schumacher at home. Bernie Eccleston, which is just a picture of somebody's granddad. What the fuck? They've got, oh, this is beautiful. This is why it's my new favourite thing ever. He looks like Sebastian Vettel if Sebastian Vettel was molested as a child. Surely, the main criteria for looking like a celebrity lookalike is looking like the celebrity you claim to look like. None of these frauds are even close. And there are people who actually look like F1 people. Valtteri Bottas has a shocking resemblance to this Olympic curling champion. Oscar Piastri has a shocking resemblance to this Canadian ice hockey player and some gymnastic twat There's 3 of them. So either we're living in the Matrix or Oscar Piastri's mother has some explaining to do. Rubens Barrichello looks like Kelsey Grammer. He's the guy who played Sideshow Bob in The Simpsons. Lando Norris and the kid from Stranger Things. Jacques Villeneuve and Christian Slater. Ross Brawn and the guy from Indiana Jones. Leading Ferrari to 6 consecutive world championships after having your face melted is quite impressive. Flavio Briatore and David Dickinson. Bernie Eccleston and my nan. Esteban Ocon and the cartoon mouse from Flushed Away. David Coulthard and the B&Q medium-sized Easter Island Moai head. Fat Brown and Jabba the Hutt. And finally, I was watching this clip from TFI Fridays in 1996 and pay close attention to the bass player.
On your bed, it's more or less the same as the things that you said. But anyway, for all the things you know, tell me why does the river not flow? Anyway, for all the things you said.
They've got the window licker on bass. They've got Spazzy McGee on the bass. What's the name of the band? Johnny Rotten and the Spastics. The point is, there are lots of people who look like F1 people, and none of them are on lookalikes.co.uk. Some of them are other athletes, Olympians. Some of them are celebrities, actors. Some of them are fictional creatures, and one of them is Jackie Kennedy. This one genuinely gives me nightmares, because if you look at them side by side, they do look similar, but then I found this picture, which somebody has clearly photoshopped Max Verstappen's face onto Jackie Kennedy. But then this picture, it seems photoshopped, but I'm not 100% sure. And then what about this picture? And this one, and all the other pictures? I don't know what Jackie Kennedy looks like anymore. And I can't tell whether or not these pictures have been photoshopped or if they are just pictures of Jackie Kennedy. I don't know what's real anymore. But what I do know is that somewhere in an alternative dimension, Christian Horner is driving through downtown Dallas and Sergio Perez is looking through the sights of a rifle. In fact, if you think about it, somebody did try to assassinate Christian Horner, but instead of a bullet flying towards his head, it was a picture of his own cock flying towards the email inbox of everybody in the F1 paddock. Maybe that should have been the winner of what the hell is even that a bit. I've changed my mind. In joint first place is AIDS Lewis Hamilton and Christian Horner's cock. Because when this freak showed up to the paddock at the Spanish Grand Prix, and when Christian Horner's WhatsApp messages got leaked on a Google Drive, and we all clicked on the now infamous file number 76, we all had the same reaction.
What the hell is even that?
And the next category is Spastic Maxing of the Year. This is an award for the most...
I'm kind of retarded.
...moments of the year. In 11th place, Lance Stroll for shagging it into the barriers in practice at the Belgian Grand Prix.
It's so difficult. Lance is a great driver in wet conditions, but this is just panic.
Lance, car is safe. Are you okay?
I'm kind of retarded.
In 10th place, Lance Stroll for this stupid move on Sushi Tsunoda at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A poorly judged dive down the inside resulted in a puncture for the Mongoloid, and when he came back out of the pits at the end of the first lap, he was in last place and 35 seconds off the field.
Why are you retarded?
In 9th place, Lance Stroll for his lack of contribution to the team. Aston Martin scored 94 points across 2024, with 74% of those points coming from Fernando Alonso. To put that in perspective, that's the same points ratio as Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. The difference is, Perez was rightfully fired at the end of the season for costing Red Bull the World Championship, and is now currently being used as a human sushi platter in Helmut Marko's kitchen. But we all know the window licker will never be fired, despite the fact that over the last 11 races of the season, even though Fernando scored points in half of those races, the window licker scored nothing.
I hope you're hungry for nothing.
In 8th place, Lance Stroll for having less spatial awareness than Liam Payne on a hotel balcony. At the Miami Grand Prix, you see, is that joke a bit much? I feel like that's a bit far, because he did fall off a balcony and die, which is a tragedy, but he did it on purpose, so it wasn't even like a skill issue. Okay, I'll edit that out. I will edit that out, because that is rude and distasteful. Here we go. In 8th place, Lance Stroll, for having less spatial awareness than Michael Schumacher skiing down the side of a mountain. No, that's so much worse. At the Miami Grand Prix, the window licker turns into the first corner, squeezing his teammate into a dive-bombing Lewis Hamilton, and then clips Lando Norris for good measure. Lando Norris retired, the window licker retired, and Fernando had to pit for a new front wing. Ruining your own race? That's fun. But ruining multiple drivers' races? That's breakfast.
I'm kind of
Breakfast!
In 7th place, Lance Stroll, for crashing into Lewis Hamilton on purpose in practice at the Spanish Grand Prix. Fat Boy was on a push lap, and when he arrived at turn 5, Hamilton mildly impeded him. And when I say mildly, I mean not at all. But Lewis, being the gentleman that he is, raised his arm and apologised over the radio.
So a Stroll car behind.
I didn't see him, my bad.
But Lance Stroll, being the entitled little bastard that he is, purposefully drove into the side of Lewis and slagged him off on the radio.
Yeah, this fucking guy thinks he's alone on the track.
This fucking guy has more world championships than you have IQ points. The disrespect! But what I found particularly funny is if you go to the official Sky F1 official YouTube channel, on their video with Anthony Davidson's analysis, every other comment in the comment section is, get the jam ready. What level of window licking are we at now? RPM be like, universal levels of window licking have been achieved. RPM needs to come out of witness protection and make a video on this. I am. Exhibit Q, LOL. Rocket Powered Mohawk was right. Crayon Chewer strikes again. Send him to jail. He's trying to lick Hamilton's window. This is my influence on the F1 online community, and I am so proud of each and every one of you. So, once again, Daddy's little boy proves to everybody that he's just an entitled little bitch.
Why are you
Breakfast!
In 6th place, Lance Stroll, for being so off the pace at the Japanese Grand Prix, he fell into an alternative dimension. He got knocked out in Q1 as per and lined up 16th on the grid, whereas Fernando lined up 5th on the grid and set a qualifying time that was 1.4 seconds faster. And that deficit was amplified over the course of the race, meaning the window licker finished 60 seconds behind his teammate in the same car. Now, some of that deficit was because Aston Martin brought him in for a late pit stop, giving him a fresh set of soft tyres to try and make up a few places by the end of the race. Before he came into the pits, he was in 11th place and about 1 second behind Sushi Tsunoda. When he came out of the pits, he had dropped behind Magnussen and Bottas with a 17-second deficit to make up. To be fair, within 9 laps, he stormed up to the back of them, throws it down the inside of Bottas into turn 7, and then the next lap throws it around the outside of Magnussen at turn 6. And as you can imagine, the Stroll bandwagon had a full-blown spazgasm. You see, Stroll is a world-class driver. Those were legitimate moves. Stroll is underrated and overhated. I brush my teeth with a bar of soap. Let me explain something. Context. The window licker was on brand new soft tyres. Both Magnussen and Bottas pitted for their tyres on lap 23. So by the time Fat Boy rocked up to the back of them on lap 46, those hard tyres were 23 laps old. So that would give Fatty a tyre advantage of about 9,000 seconds per lap. And he was driving an Aston Martin, which was comfortably the 5th fastest car, against a Haas, which is a wheelie bin, and a Sauber, which is a wheelie bin with aids. But it got worse, because after he dispensed the 2 wheelie bins, he was supposed to go and get Sushi Tsunoda for 10th place. Sushi was 8 seconds up the road and also on 25-lap old hard tyres. So did Fatty storm up to the back of him and overtake him by the end of the race? No, because a 3rd wheelie bin appeared in the form of Nico Hülkenberg driving a Haas on, you guessed it, old hard tyres. But despite that obvious disadvantage, he managed to catch up to the window licker and overtake him on the final lap. Something that Fatty himself tried to explain over the radio.
It's unbelievable how bad our speed is on the straight, man. Like, it's a different category.
What?
It's a different category.
I genuinely believe he has a brain injury. I believe he was kicked in the head by a horse as a child or thrown off the upper deck of his dad's yacht as a baby. Something happened to make him the way that he is.
It's a different
Breakfast!
In 5th place, Lance Stroll, for his behaviour at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now, This actually didn't get much attention because at the time, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were trying to cause a civil war and Lando Norris was getting cooked by his own team. So everybody was focusing on those issues, but further down the order, there was more shenanigans. With 5 laps to go, Fernando and the Spastic were running 10th and 11th place respectively. Spazzy McGee had pitted 8 laps later than Fernando and had fresher tyres, so Aston Martin told Fernando to let the Spastic through so he could use those fresher tyres to try and catch Sushi Tsunoda for 9th place. However, both of them were told on the radio that if Spazzy could not get Sushi by the end of the race, they would switch back positions. This is exactly what Mercedes did in 2017. Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton were running 3rd and 4th respectively. Hamilton came on the radio and said he had more pace, so Mercedes told Valtteri to move, bitch, and let Hamilton go after Kimi Raikkonen. But they told him that if Hamilton did not get Raikkonen, they would switch back positions by the end of the race. Seems like a fair deal. So Bottas let Hamilton through into the first corner, and Lewis did manage to get right up Kimi Raikkonen's arse, but never achieved an overtake. And as promised, on the final lap, at the final corner, Hamilton backs off and lets Valtteri back through. Like a gentleman. Here's how it played out over the team radio.
Okay, man, look, I got a lot of pace. Not let me use it. I don't know why the Ferraris are slow. Catch them and get past them. Have to let him back past.
Okay, Lewis, Valtteri's going to let you past. Into turn 1, you can go strap mode 3. Ferraris are just up ahead. So make sure you can stay close to Lewis so that we can re-invert the cars.
It's getting very hard to get close.
Just do what you can, you've got overtake available. So we've been given 5 more laps, front calipers are reaching the limit.
Don't worry about it. You want me to let me Valtteri back, yeah?
Okay, mate, thanks for that. Yeah, it's a gentlemanly thing to do. Well done.
Isn't that beautiful? Teamwork. So when Aston Martin tried to pull off the exact same thing, here's how that played out over the radio.
And we've got 1 more lap to close up on Tsunoda, but if not, we're going to give Lance a chance. 7 laps to go, 7. So then we can let Lance pass when it's convenient. And we will swap back if he doesn't get in, we will swap back. 3 more laps to go, Fernando, 3 more laps. If you could just keep up to Lance so that we can swap back without messing around with Piastri.
Lance, Fernando will give you DRS. We'll go past her into turn 1, and then we need to go and get Tsunoda. Okay? So 5 to go. Everything we can to get Tsunoda now. Otherwise, we'll swap back at the end of the race.
Well, I would have passed Fernando, but okay.
So 3 laps to go. You are P10, but we'll have to swap back if we don't get him. This is the final lap. So if you don't get him now, you need to switch back before the line. Fernando's 4 seconds behind you, there's no pressure behind. So I suggest you drop back, let Fernando pass. It's 4 seconds back. Okay, that's the flag. That is the flag.
You selfish pig. Fernando let him past, as instructed, and when Knobhead could not get past Sushi by the end of the race, he was told to let Fernando back through four times. Wait, is that 4? Look how short my fingers look on the camera. My fingers aren't really... Look, I've got... My hands are normal size. They look really short from that angle. What the fuck? Why do my fingers look so short? What am I doing? Fernando let him past, as instructed, and when Fat Boy did not get Sushi by the end of the race, he was told to give the position back to Fernando 4 times, all of which he completely ignored, and what did he say? I would have passed Fernando, but okay, where's my squishy ball? I need my squishy ball. Damn it, where's my squishy ball? Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's over there. Oh yes, my sweet prince. Fernando Alonso is the same man who at this very track in 2021 held up Lewis Hamilton in a championship-winning Mercedes when he was driving an Alpine. So that would give Lewis a 50 billion second per lap advantage. But despite that, he fended off multiple attacks across multiple laps from one of the most competent drivers on the grid in the fastest car on the grid. So how exactly were you going to get past Fernando, you delusional psychopath? That was hairy. It's been on the floor. Fuck's sake. Watching Lance Stroll try to attack Fernando Alonso would be like watching Harvey Price attack a door. The door wouldn't move, but he would end up with even more brain damage. In 4th place, oh my God, we're only on 4th place, for the love of Christ. In 4th place, Lance Stroll, for his behaviour at the Monaco Grand Prix. Every season, the Formula One traditionalists try to defend the Monaco Grand Prix by saying things like, it's historical. It's not supposed to be like a normal race. Stop complaining, it's boring. It's a spectacle. My cock is a spectacle. The Monaco Grand Prix is an advertising billboard with a Formula One track penciled around it. A track where overtaking is literally impossible. The only people slinging it down the inside are the sugar daddies who found some 19-year-old slag on seekingarrangements.com. Which, to be fair, might be the smartest way of getting into the Monaco Grand Prix. How much are tickets now? $10,000? No. Ladies, get yourself on LinkedIn, which is a professional platform for business. Find a department store tycoon or the CEO of a Fortune 500 company and send him a picture of your perfectly manicured twat. Fuck your way into the Formula One paddock. Take a leaf out of Kelly Piquet's book. She's now been up the duff with 2 separate Formula One drivers. You know what that really means? She's got a VIP paddock pass for life. Okay? So stop complaining about the price of tickets and start taking balls to the chin. Isn't that how Simon Lazenby got into the paddock? By taking balls to the chin. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. The Monaco Grand Prix is always the most boring race of the year. And this season, the most interesting thing that happened was some twat shagged his boat into the harbour. The footage shows 2 spectators at the event were lucky to escape without injury as the boat came in like a wrecking ball. According to spectators, there was nobody on the vessel at the time. You know what? I don't believe the mainstream media, because I have received exclusive footage from on board that boat at the time of the crash. Are you ready? Roll the clip. In Captain Whiskers' defence, he was swerving to avoid a duck, but he killed 3 people. And Captain Whiskers wasn't the only one who fucked it at the Monaco Grand Prix. Sergio Perez got yeeted into the barriers by Kevin Magnussen on the first lap, spreading shite all over the track and bringing out the red flag. So obviously, all the drivers completed their mandatory tyre change under the red flag, so nobody had to do a pit stop during the race. A 78-lap race around Monaco with no overtakes and no pit stops should be illegal. Never in the sport's 74-year history had the top 10 from the start finished the race in the same order, but after a first lap red flag, blah, blah, blah. We literally just sat there for 2 hours and watched a train of cars drive around town. The Formula One traditionalists can drink bleach.
Life's bleachable moments need Clorox bleach.
I can't fucking breathe in this thing. I'm literally about to pass the fuck out. Ah! I just hurt myself. Thankfully, there was some action at the Monaco Grand Prix when Aston Martin attempted to pull a 5,000 IQ strategy. Fatboy and Fernando were running 11th and 12th place, respectively, when Aston Martin told Fernando to purposefully hold people up to create a gap so Fatboy could pit for new tyres. On lap 25, the gap between Fernando and the window licker was 3 seconds, and over the next few laps, Fernando drove like such a spaz, he got the gap to 21 seconds. And it was quite funny watching him do it, because even though he was driving seconds off the pace, because the track is so narrow and completely unfit for modern day Formula One cars, there was nowhere for the drivers behind him to get past. And this, by the way, is what the F1 traditionalists mean when they say Monaco is a spectacle. It's not a spectacle, it's an expensive waste of time. So after Fernando created a big enough gap, Fatboy came into the pits for new tyres, and when he came back out of the pits, thanks to Fernando, he was still in 11th place. But now now he's got a 21-second deficit to make up to Pierre Gasly. On his first lap out of the pits, he took 3 seconds out of Gasly's lead. And in just 5 laps, he got the gap down to 13 seconds. He was licking some serious jam. At that rate, he was easily going to catch Gasly by the end of the race, overtake him, and score some points for the team. I know I slag off Aston Martin all the time for being globalist demons, but credit where credit is due. They came up with a 5,000 IQ strategy. Fernando did his part by holding everybody up and creating a gap. They nailed the pit stop and got the window licker back out without losing any positions, and now he's storming up to the back of Gasly. All he has to do now is not make a stupid mistake.
Stroll's got a puncture.
Stroll has a puncture, and his amble up to the back of Pierre Gasly will not happen.
To do an overtake. Aston Martin have been lining that up for 40 laps, and now Stroll is out of the picture.
Breakfast! In third place, Lance Stroll for this stupid crash at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. What made this crash even more embarrassing than all the other times he's twatted it is this was the weekend an 18-year-old Oliver Bearman was drafted in last minute to replace Carlos Sainz. Carlos was rushed into hospital on Friday morning for emergency surgery and had to sit out the rest of the weekend. Thankfully, the operation was a success and the surgeons removed the knife that Ferrari stuck in his back earlier in the season. So this 18-year-old fetus lined up right behind the window licker on the grid, having set a qualifying time that was within 1/10 of a second. And yes, I know he was driving a Ferrari against an Aston Martin, but he only had 45 minutes of practice compared to the window licker's 8 years of experience. And he managed to go all 50 laps without shagging it into the barriers, whereas the Mongoloid only made it to lap 6 before showing everybody the dangers of inbreeding. So well done, Lance. You were outperformed by a literal fetus.
I'm kind of disgusting.
In second place, Lance Stroll for his behaviour at the Brazilian Grand Prix. It wasn't enough that he completely destroyed the car in qualifying, which, to be fair, was the popular thing to do that day. Carlos Sainz shagged it into the barriers. Franco Colapinto shagged it into the barriers. His teammate, Fernando Alonso, shagged it into the barriers. Alex Albon fucked it into the barriers. And what made all of these crashes even worse is that the original qualifying session was cancelled because of a monsoon. And they rescheduled qualifying for Sunday morning just a few hours before the start of the race. So all of those drivers who twatted their cars into 1,000 pieces in qualifying gave their mechanics a nervous breakdown because now they only had about 3 hours to repair all of this damage in time for lights out. Williams put out this statement saying Alex Albon's car was twatted beyond repair, their words, and that he would not make it to the start of the race. But Franco's car was repaired and he got to the grid on time. Carlos Sainz had to start from the pit lane with a new engine and gearbox, but somehow the Aston Martin mechanics managed to repair both of their cars in time for the race, and they lined up 9th and 10th on the grid. So maybe the window licker could actually score some points today. You see, you know what's coming. You know what's about to happen. So there's no point me setting this up because you know what the punchline is. I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. Maybe the window licker could score some points today, and that would be a really nice way of showing some appreciation to his mechanics who spent the last 3 hours having a nervous breakdown getting his car ready for the start of the race. Scoring even a single point would be a nice way to repay them for their hard work. So, what did he do?
It begins! Lance Stroll finds himself off the road on the formation lap.
Rear locking almost immediately on the brakes. And he does make contact with the wall, damage to that front wing before the race even starts. Terrible luck for Lance Stroll.
I think we're going to need an aborted start here because he's stuck in the gravel.
I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I have the emotional strength. I mean, we're only on second place. It gets worse. This is second. All right, okay. I'm going to be reasonable. Here's me being reasonable. Crashing before the start of a race is not completely unprecedented. At the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix, Sergio Perez shagged it into the barriers on the reconnaissance lap. He didn't even make it to the formation lap. And although the conditions were wetter than Lance Stroll's chin, failing to get a car to the grid is a crime that should be punishable by 10 years in Helmut Marko's kitchen. At the 1995 Italian Grand Prix, David Coulthard spun out on the formation lap, and he was supposed to start that race from pole position.
Means that the cars will slide around a great deal, and it looks like David Coulthard's gone off on the warm-up lap. Well, somebody certainly has, and it's a Williams, and it is David Coulthard. Now, this is quite incredible.
At the 2020 Hungarian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen, Jesus Christ himself, twatted it into the barriers on the reconnaissance lap. He dropped it into the barriers hard enough to break the front suspension, but still managed to drag the car to the grid. And then the Red Bull mechanics had a full-blown panic attack trying to repair the damage in time for lights out. The aero daddy himself, Adrian Newey, had his own formation lap crash. In 2013, he took a break from doing lines of blow off his drawing table and was competing in a GT3 European Championship. In the Silverstone race, on the formation lap, this happened.
Things have gone badly wrong. This is the replay. Adrian Newey weaving around, coming out of Beckett's onto the Hanger straight, just loses it. Slams it up against the wall, and Adrian Newey, in rather embarrassing fashion, has dropped it on the outlap to the grid.
Maybe stick to doing lines of blow off the drawing table. At the 2006 Australian Grand Prix, Juan Pablo Montoya dropped it as the cars were lining up on the grid.
Flattered him in qualifying, and he could...
Oh, someone spun it. It's Montoya. Sorry to cut into you, Martin, but just giving it a bit of the old gas. Montoya has spun it. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
He switched the traction control off, I suspect, and just dropped it. How embarrassing. I can't think of anything more embarrassing than that.
Oh, I can think of something more embarrassing than that. How about spinning off on the formation lap, just about getting away with it, having only grazed the wall with your front wing, but then turning around and voluntarily driving into a gravel trap and getting beached? Our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck.
My name's Holy Fuck.
And the winner, I'm already over this video. This isn't even an award show anymore. It's just a Lance Stroll hate video. And the winner of Spastic Maxing of the Year is, drum roll please, Lance Stroll for his behaviour at the Chinese Grand Prix. On lap 21, Valtteri Bottas pulled off the track with an engine failure, bringing out the safety car. 5 laps later, the safety car came in, the field bunches up and were preparing to restart the race. But as they headed into the final hairpin, Lance Stroll, who was daydreaming about a freshly jammed window because he was not paying attention, drove into the back of Daniel Ricciardo. Now, listen, I made a whole video about this at the time, where I went through it with my usual calm and composed level of technical analysis. Yes, I did jump out of the bath and storm the camera and have a psychological breakdown and ended up rolling around on the floor. Okay, I did not stay calm and composed. Because it wasn't that he crashed into Daniel Ricciardo behind the safety car, or that he came on the radio and called Ricciardo an idiot for a crash that was obviously his fault. It was the post-race interview that sent me over the edge. It wasn't necessarily Lance Stroll himself. It was the journalists asking him the questions. I'm talking about people like Lawrence Barretto, Will Buxton, Rachel Brooks, Ted Kravitz, Craig Slater. These are the people who get to talk to the drivers after the race. And when they talk to Lance Stroll, they never ask him real questions about what the fuck he's playing at. Even when he's done something completely insane, they don't make him answer for his behaviour or hold his feet to the fire. Just listen to the way they posed their questions after he had driven into the back of Ricciardo in China.
Commiserations, you've driven a very, very strong looking race. Then obviously what happens with Daniel, who says, you know, the cars are concertinoing this car.
Well, Lance, it was looking like a great race, and then that weird incident at the turn 14 hairpin. What happened from your point of view?
You spineless bastards. That weird incident at turn 14. What happened. If these people were interviewing Osama bin Laden, commiserations, Osama. It was looking like a great day, but then there was that weird incident at the World Trade Center. It wasn't a weird incident, Craig. It was the fucking Mossad. Let's not do that on YouTube. I don't want to get thrown off every platform. The point is, these people are spineless cowards who don't ask real questions. So, I thought I would take matters into my own hands. A few days ago, I was given the exclusive opportunity to interview the window licker myself. Oh yes, and this is not a sketch that I edited together, it really happened. When I interviewed Lance Stroll, I attempted to ask him questions about his behaviour, amongst other things, but his answers were completely incoherent. Almost as if he was speaking in riddles, like an ancient wizard who possesses great knowledge about the universe but who cannot communicate it to us mere mortals. I came away from the interview confused. Is Lance Stroll secretly a genius? Or is he what people say he is? Developmentally retarded? You be the judge. Here is my exclusive, never-before-seen interview with the window licker himself. Hello, Lance. Yeah, wakey wakey. Okay, first question. Have you ever fingered your arse in the Formula One paddock?
Sometimes when the engineering meetings go on.
Ha 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 ha, not funny. Next question. Have you ever fingered your arse in a public bathroom?
No, not properly. You're giving me ideas now.
Oh boy. If you had to compare yourself to any Formula One driver, past or present, who would it be?
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton? The 7.5... Are you sure about that?
Michael Schumacher.
I'll give you that. You have the same level as Michael Schumacher. Right now. Post skiing accident. Wasn't a joke. Next question. Some people claim you are cognitively impaired. To prove these people wrong, please answer this mathematical question. What is 7 plus 4?
2012.
Not even fucking close.
Do you know that one?
It's like primary school level mathematics. What the fuck are you doing? Hey, Lance. Over here. Hey, pay attention. Lance, hey, look, I've got jam. Hey, I've got jam. Yes, okay, now I've got your attention. Give you that in a minute. Next question. Have you ever had sexual thoughts about a family member?
Oh, yeah, I've done that before.
And you're just callous about it?
Like, yeah, you know.
Okay, you sick fuck. Next question. How many times have you crashed a Formula One car?
I mean, that's tough.
If you had to guess.
2012.
Correct. And what's going through your mind when you're making all of these stupid mistakes?
Lance has ants in his pants.
Lance has ants in his pants is not an answer. Stop making that stupid face. I'm going to lose it with him. Steve, I've had enough. What do you do in the off-season to stay prepared for Formula One?
I'm binging the NASCAR show right now on Netflix.
Well, that's not nothing. Could you please draw me a picture of your favourite Formula One track? Whoa, can't put that on YouTube. Why are you the way that you are?
Can you see about it?
Ha 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 ha! Fuck you! Stop making that fucking face! You fucking... Wow, what an insightful conversation between two great minds. So, congratulations to Lance Stroll. Once again, you have spent an entire season proving your haters right and embarrassing the people who are delusional enough to actually support you. But at least you are the winner of Spastic Maxing of the Year. Well done! And the next category is... Well, there isn't one, because I spent so much time doing the Spastic Maxing category that I've run out of time to talk about anything else. Because we are now days, if not hours away from the 2025 Australian Grand Prix. So to make sure I get this out before then, I'm going to wrap up the video now. And I don't want any of you ungrateful bastards in the comments like, you missed so many things. You should have talked about Max and Lando's incredible championship battle. You should have mentioned Lewis Hamilton's iconic victory at the British Grand Prix. What about all of the weird things like the safety car crashing in Monza or the grass randomly catching fire in China? What about Verstappen winning Brazil from 17th on the grid? What about the Freedom Tower getting fired mid-season? You didn't even do the Destructors Championship. Shut up! I will crawl through this screen like the bitch from The Exorcist and rip your face off. So, with that being said, the winter is now over. I have returned after spending the last 3 months on the run from HMRC, and if there is any tax lawyers watching this, please do get in touch, because I am in a lot of trouble right now.